Hello and welcome back to the UKLC as we finally made it to our 6th tower in a row. My name is Jay Kipper and Matthews. We're joined by the boy in Munchables once again and him.
This guy. Captain Audio, as they call him, I believe.
Yep. Captain Audio.
Actually, that's Mike in the back.
If you're a superpower, what would your power be? It has to be something to do with orcs, though. Because that is your superhero name.
His superpower would be upgrading to Bluetooth.
He's just outdone by Bluetooth.
Have you ever considered changing your name to Bluetooth?
No, and I'm
Okay,
not
good.
going to.
Have you seen that Arthur meme where he has an aux cable?
Yeah.
Rich Sims made that. Did you know?
I did not know that.
For anyone who doesn't know Rich Sims, unlucky. Haha, I do. Got him. Anyway, let's talk about League of Legends.
Yeah, our last game was incredible. I mean, I say incredible. It was one-sided.
It was the most UK game we've ever had.
I don't even know if it was the most UK game.
It was a
just
fiesta.
so
We had a
one-sided.
Yasuo who was behind, who somehow got a triple kill, and we're like,
He wasn't even 0-10.
And it was against
He didn't
the
even get to his
members.
power spike.
yeah.
One of those people he killed was actually NG, who was our MVP from that last game as well. The guy was super proactive on the map, on that Jarvan. You know, you said it in Champ Select Talks, you're like, he has to try and camp this mid lane. And he went, nah, screw that, I'm just going to go bot and it was
And
so unfair. It was so unfair.
He managed to avoid spilling coffee on his keyboard so he could steal that Baron away, so...
That's the key thing. I was honestly, during the Baron steal, I was watching the Yasuo. I was like, he's going to do it. He just did it. He's going to do it again. He's going to pick those honey fruits up, and he's just going to smash Fnatic. Oh, no, he's dead. Okay, don't worry. The Baron's been stolen as well.
Yeah, I mean, NG was just all over the place. The Jarvan was clean.
In a good
it
way.
was concise. It was
But in a good
beautiful.
because normally when you say that all over the place, it's like a negative thing.
I meant all over the places in place
All
being
over the
map.
map.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, fantastic stuff. And also the bot lane as well did a great job of just rolling ahead. Because when Morgana Caitlyn was locked in, I was like, oh damn, we could have a game here. But
No, we didn't.
Ronaldo completely shut
It
it
was
down.
Forrest Gump. He was just running everywhere, just constantly everywhere. It just looks so good. I mean, they have now punched themselves through to this tower final. They will be taking on XL UK, who are currently our tower champions.
And first in points.
And first in points sitting at the top of the towers. And I set it up last game, but I'm going to talk about it again. Fnatic have to win this. This is their last chance to make it to the finals without running that gauntlet. Now, we have a little look at the bracket to see how everything's placed out. And, I mean, Fnatic had just climbed up to the top. They had for them, I'd say this is a pretty easy bracket. The only real threat was Eminem, but Phelan beat out Eminem. They decimated Phelan today.
For
They
Fnatic,
decimated Demise today.
I feel like just the whole bracket is pretty easy. They don't seem to have much difficulty dispatching anyone. There's been a couple of shaky moments. For the most part, they can handle any team, apart from the team they're challenging.
Yeah, and that is going to be XL UK currently sitting at that top. And there has been a few moments here where XL, versus Fnatic have had really solid wins and thrown them out the window. There were 2 games in a row, 2 weeks ago now, where they just... I don't know what was happening to XL. They just seemed to not be able to close with a 10k gold lead. They started realizing that and drafting towards their kind of late game scaling comps, and then they were able to close out versus
Well, the
Fnatic.
big thing was they didn't have a 10k gold lead last week, so easy to close it out when you don't give yourself that disadvantage of being 10,000 gold up.
Yeah, it's like the 0-10 Yasuo, right?
Yeah.
If you can just get kills early, then you don't have to wait for the 0-10 spike. But if you get deaths before the kills, then you have to go for that power spike. That's the secondary win condition. So
The question for me is, do XL let this Zyra Khan go through?
No.
Because Ronaldo has been looking very clean on that champion. And I want to see what he's capable of playing as well in that support role that isn't the Rakan. Because we know he can play it. He's been playing it really well. Can he play something else? Is he going to be as impactful as he's been on that Rakan on a different champion?
The big criticism I'd have is when someone newly switches to role, especially as quickly as Ronaldo's had to adapt. He's been mid, top, and now support. You can't honestly expect him to have as wide champion pool as someone like Kasing, who has shown he has picks that he will have played years and years ago in the highest competitive levels that he's willing to bring back if he feels like they're appropriate here. Ronaldo's new to the role, so I feel like if you push him off his comfort, you'll be in a good position. The problem is, though, you've only seen him play Rakan. I feel like he will at least have a couple more picks prepared. But the question is, can you beat him if he's not on this Rakan, which is, I guess, the angle that XL would like to look towards, but they may have something prepared to handle that bot lane.
yeah, I mean, you could just fall back on something like the Nautilus as well. It's a fairly similar style, right? You're just going for those engages, going for locking up the AD carry and trying to snowball early on in the game. It's not the same. Obviously, the kit is quite different. It's a different skill set to an extent, but a similar style of champion is something maybe he could fall back on.
Now, we're not had a team actually ever hold the tower here at the UKLC. Fnatic almost did versus XL, but they were able to kind of claw it back in that last moment. And we can actually have a little look at XL's road to the top of the tower from last week, all their kind of like highlight reel plays, because there were some questions, especially with XL's early game. You know, we thought them as a better early game team off like their previous weeks, but they were getting beaten out in some of these early games, but they were able to kind of bounce back into later game, which was a nice change of pace for this team.
Yeah, I think that control later on looked so much better. My big concern for them was against Fnatic, it kept feeling like, oh wow, it doesn't matter how far ahead XL get in the early game, they will find a way to throw. They just cannot finish anything, even their dinner. But they've started to be so much better in the mid to late game.
Ooh.
They've started to show a lot more cohesion, and XL, sorry, struggling. Nico mixing it up.
I mean, this has been one of the interesting things about Sendo, actually, is how his champ pool has grown. He's been playing things like the Cassiopeia bot lane and subbing out with Hyanan and Exile. He's been playing really, really well across the board, and his champ pool has widened massively from, like, the last few splits where, you know, we were questioning his ability, but I still now solidly stand by the stance for I think Sendo is the best top laner in the UK currently.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that he's more versatile than Shikari, because Shikari doesn't tend to do much to punish in terms of aggression. I think that Sendo, his big issue was consistency. In the right matchup, he was great at punishing, but it just felt like he could fall apart and overstep, but now he seems so much more consistent.
I do want to talk a little bit about the fact that we've just seen a bunch of replays of XL right there. They were just bodying everyone in the bracket, basically, making it all the way to the Tower Finals immediately. That's basically what we've seen from Fnatic today. And ultimately, this matchup is the battle for first seed.
Yeah.
This is going to set it up for next week. Whoever can win this one goes straight on into next week's tower, or at least goes into the rematch. So there's a lot of pressure on this one match specifically to set up for so much more, because you get a free ticket to Twickenham. You can just skip the gauntlet if you can find that first.
And you can study your opponents as well. That's the key thing, because we kind of expect it to be XL Fnatic as our finalists, just looking at their performance across the whole split. But you can watch what the other team and what, you know, potentially if a different team does make it, you can watch what they've been doing and kind of study their plans, while you can kind of secretly practice stuff and hold your cards closer to your chest going into that. But we are going to be going into our next tower challenge. So we're starting up on the blue side with XL UK, the defending tower champions. Sendo in the top lane, Taxo in the jungle, Exile mid, Hyanan ADC, and Kasing as support.
Yeah, fantastic squad moving on forward, and they're up against Fnatic Rising. We've seen them today already. Shikari, NG, Magifelix, Xmati, and the brand new squad member, Ronaldo, going to be stepping forward, and he's had an awesome performance across the course today so far.
Yeah, his Rakans looked really good. I think his move in the support role has made sense from how he's been playing. Mechanically very strong. Again, the big question is, what else does he have prepared in his pool? Because I feel like it'd be naive of XL to give them that Lovers Duo again, unless they have something specifically prepared, which you'd hope at this point they have something to go against it if they don't ban it away.
They are red side as well for Fnatic, so you
just
kind of
deny
have to ban, or you can kind of pick away from them. I'm curious to see whether or not we see the likes of Sendo's Cassiopeia go bot lane again, because now with the changes since 9.14, where you can miasma at your feet, well, tail, if you're Cassiopeia, Rakan can jump in and you just bleh on the floor, and then he can't jump out because he's standing in your bleh.
Yeah, and that's a big counteract to his mobility. Cassiopeia works well because she shuts that down, and Rakan isn't tanky at all. He's one of the squishy of those sort of engaged champions you have in the bot lane. And so if you cut down his mobility, that's his pseudo tankiness removed. Very easy to make him a viable kill target if you do go for that.
It is worth mentioning, though, even if Cassiopeia does ground, he can still use the quickness. He can still dash around, get the charm. So he can find situations to get out. He's still going to be slippery. Even with grounding in play, if he can play it correctly, if he finds the right positioning, that quickness can mean that he's still awkward enough to catch that he can just about get away with those kind of spicy plays.
Yes, it's what Sendo does in that period of time where he is slowed down by the likes of the miasma grounded as well. But, you know, we're talking hypotheticals here because we don't know if Sendo's going to be going bot lane. He did it quite a lot last week, locking in the likes of the Cassiopeia, but then again, he also has played that pick top lane. So this is another pick. While we're talking about the Lovers Duo as a potential ban away for XL, I actually would like to see the denial of the Cassiopeia from Fnatic Rising, because Exile's shown he's capable of playing it, Sendo's shown he's capable of playing it. Magifelix can play it, but I don't think it's been something he's been really putting priority on in the last few weeks.
We've talked a lot about the bot lane here, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if XL's bans focus on Magic Felix, because Magic Felix honestly has been a huge amount of pressure for the likes of Fnatic. The reason that Ronaldo and Matty can be so aggressive is because Magic Felix is putting on so much pressure, because NG is putting on so much pressure.
But you have to remember is that one of the big things has been denying Magic Felix from these massive carries, which you can scale up on, the Corki and the Azir. XL have been the team to shut him down in that regard when they took that Tristana mid lane pick, but Fnatic Rising very quickly ban it away.
Yeah, speaking of that, it's going to be taken off the board. So Fnatic definitely know what they're doing in this matchup. They're going to be reading Exile and seeing that maybe that's an option still.
Yeah, we do run down what the bans are so far. We've got Karma, the Tristana, no surprises there. The Aurelia and Akali that has been given over so many times to Fnatic Rising. That's going to be the Rakan denial from Ronaldo. I feel like while X-Maddie's Xayah is scary, they know that he's got more in his champion, so banning the Xayah doesn't really deny Ronaldo the only pick he's played as the support role so far. So take that away from him. Don't give it over. That's going to be the Yasuo ban. That's I mean, like, this is a team who can actually play that Yasuo.
Well, I mean, Zyka looked pretty good in it towards the later stages, and I think it just showed that Fnatic Rising weren't necessarily prepared for Yasuo to 1v3 their team. But XL very quickly locked in that Yuumi.
Yeah.
So that did get skipped over because of the priority and other things. And there's been this Champions, I think, 100% ban rate so far today.
Yeah.
This week in total.
I don't think we've seen it at all this week. I think
no,
it's
been banned pretty heavily, and it's now been left open to Kasing, who is someone who is definitely happy to play that. Very quickly, though, the Sivir Corki lock-in. Fnatic, massive amount of scaling here, and also Sivir can handle the Yuumi Pope because you can spell shield it. Limited amount that you can do because you can just, cast that Prowling Projectile again, but at least blocks 1 in 100.
I mean, it's
Guess you some mana.
1 in 3, I would say, really. But it was a nice try, mate.
Blocks
It
1 in
sounds
14
better.
million.
Yeah.
Well, NG going to be going, or going to be locking in the Corki as well. You'd expect
Oh, no,
that
it's open.
to go towards
Oh,
Magic
no, it's
Felix.
open.
Heimerdinger going to be locked in here.
How did we miss that?
How did
100% win
how
rate
did Fnatic
in the
miss
one
that?
game that is played.
And do you know what Shannon played it with? It was the Yuumi.
Yeah.
It was
Yuumi.
Heimerdinger. It was the first game XL
unplayable.
played of the split. They played it versus M&M. And if you watch the Behind the Flame, which is the kind of the Eminem voiceover, what the comms are saying, Shogun went, "Oh, that's Shannon's Heimerdinger. That is horrible to play into. You just
And
can't do anything."
They take the Cassiopeia as well. That probably, well, I mean, we expect the Heimer and the Yuumi to go bot, so Cassiopeia mid lane or top lane. Looking over what Fnatic are going to take. It is the Fiddlesticks. It can bounce the crows between the turrets.
It can be really, really effective. It can
But
do a lot.
I still feel like you're just going to struggle into that lane.
Well, one thing as
XL.
well that people forget about is the Crow Storm actually can annihilate the turrets pretty much on impact. So
Yeah.
aside from the ult turret, which obviously is too tanky for the Crow Storm, the small turrets, if Magic Felix ults into, or obviously Magic Felix won't play it, but whoever Crow Storms into the fight, they can actually wipe out Heimer's turrets immediately, which does reduce a lot of the effectiveness of Heimer in a team fight.
I'm assuming it's going to be Ronaldo playing this Fiddlesticks.
I would presume so.
I mean, what a game to like.
Possible to be jungle.
You get your account you've been playing consistently taken away from you, and then you go, you know what? I'm going to play Fiddlesticks. Whip out the old crow dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's a confident play. Olaf going to be banned away, though, by Fnatic as well as Trundle. And then they're
Those are both
with a
two
cannon.
picks that are very good into Skarner. Both those do very well. We did see NG play Skarner earlier this week, so this could be them setting up for a Skarner pick right now because those are the go-to counters. You just bring that out.
One of the other things I actually want to note is, while in the recent wins XL have had over Fnatic, it's been them playing towards the late game comp. The likes of this Cassiopeia now. Heimerdinger is kind of his own little beast in that sense, but they've got some scaling already placed together by XL and Fnatic. They've also recognized that XL versus them have been playing for a later game. So they've locked the Corki and the Sivir in here. Something we kind of didn't really hit on is the fact that as this game goes later, there is some serious potential just for this game to kind of be played around the wave clear that Fnatic have available to them. And, Heimerdinger is strong, but I don't know what he's going to do into a 6-item Sivir. And then you look at NG, who's been picking up this Zac quite a lot recently in the scene. I mean, there's only two games on
It's
it.
been against XL, and he's relied on that for the scaling aspect.
And this is another pick, actually, that we've been seeing consistently from Taxa. So the jungle is kind of going into comfort. They know what's on the line here.
Yeah.
And this is the buff Lee Sin as well. It's only a minor buff, but it is still a buff to him.
I do want to talk a little bit about the synergy we have right here between the Fiddlesticks and the Zac. Both of them can start fights from outside of vision, right? You both can just jump in out of nowhere. if they can set up correctly, Fnatic can make some crazy plays, especially around Baron, especially around Dragons, and especially when going for those early tower dives. So I'd love to see some of that synergy come into play.
Yeah, we do see the final pick for XL is that Aatrox needing some AD on their team, especially up against that Zac. If he goes Adaptive Helm, and then maybe a Spirit Visage, it would cut down a lot of the topside damage in terms of that draft. But picking up the Lee and the Aatrox means they have a lot of AD threat. The final pick for Fnatic will be a Jarvan, which we expect Chikari to play in the top lane.
Yeah.
Up against that Aatrox. Interesting we don't see the Crocodile coming out, as that tends to be the standard what you want to play into the Aatrox for a lot of people. A lot of scaling on the side of Fnatic Rising, but it's Xion and Timer, and it's not like their composition just falls off a cliff. They still have a Cassiopeia in the mid lane, which is going to be a massive threat.
And the key thing to note as well is when we look at the junglers, we look at NG, who got MVP for the last game, because of how proactive he was on the map. He was playing that Jarvan, constantly setting up ganks, and just Fnatic just snowballed the lanes from there. This time he's on the Zac. While it is not impossible for him to find these early ganks, he needs to put more points in the Elastic Slingshot to get the additional range to find these kind of more optimal ganks if you are the likes of a Zac. So otherwise he has to gank from a fairly close distance, but can be locked down by a grenade, by the Yuumi. It gets harder and harder for him to make these early ganks, but Taxa, he's on Lee Sin, a famous jungler for playing early game aggression, for setting up these early ganks, and these invades as well.
I was going to say, the invades are the most important thing. Lee Sin is notorious, especially against something like a Zac that is quite slow in the early stages of the jungle, and also has to get quite low to clear his jungle. You can find those 1v1s, and you can invade, punish the enemy jungler for picking something like the Zac that can be invaded pretty comfortably.
And this sort of harks back to something that Prosper said in one of his interviews, was that NG making the call in the game, these guys can't end, let's just outscale. It was him playing the Zac when they failed a play and they went, you know what, whatever, let's just chill and outscale them. And I feel like this is like the direction they've gone again in this game. They have such a scaling comp, but, you know, XL, they've looked better recently.
Well, we take to the Rift.
We're both play-by-plays at heart, so we both start introing the game. Here we go. We're going to kick things off here. XL up against Fnatic. The battle for the UK begins. The battle for first seed continues between our two previous tower champions.
Wait.
Two behemoths of the UK scene.
Wait.
I'm waiting.
They're not doing this.
Sendo is chilling bot lane on this Cassiopeia. XL's top side on this Aatrox. And then mid lane, you have Xion setting up on Heimer.
I mean, this kind of throws that crows you were talking about in the champ select out the window, because unless you want to send Ronaldo mid, which, by the way, is not a great idea right now.
It could just be that solo lane Xion and then Sendo Kasing in the bot lane.
It would be a city shout, I would say, to send Kasing mid with Xion, unless you really want to play for early plating and like early shove.
It's like Kasing is heading bot.
Well, I mean, Cassiopeia can be played as a bot laner. The fact that Cassiopeia is in the bot lane is not that crazy. It's just the fact that we have a Heimerdinger mid going up against this Corki. But I can actually see that being successful. Corki's attack range is not that long, so the turrets could be quite oppressive for him.
And remember, this is something that XL have been doing a lot. They've been sending Sendo bot lane on the Cassiopeia so many times. Now, XL, he's going to be the one rocking that Aatrox in that top side of the map, and already Fnatic Rising, we've taken some serious poke from the cat and snake bot lane.
Yeah, and it does to an extent negate some of the Fiddlesticks poke, because one of the big things with him is he can bounce those crows. Against a Heimer, it's great, you bounce between the turrets. But when Yuumi's inside Cassiopeia, they won't bounce to it. And actually, Chikari,
he's just getting some damage off. You can see the power of that early martial cadence. Get that one big empowered auto attack off, and he just feels confident to trade continuously into XL. Remember, both of these two are running that Conqueror. So the longer these fights go, the scarier it can get for either side, depending who starts out strong, which with the martial cadence will always be Chikari in these early levels.
And I remember back in the old days, Heimerdinger used to actually be quite a common champion. There was at least a period of time where he was pretty good. And I remember he used to build Will of the Ancients on it because it had a health regen aura, and health regen affected his turrets, so you could have these invincible turrets that just consistently repaired themselves. And his passive back then would regen turret health as well.
Looks like NG's looking to maybe see if he can make a play happen. Comes in with the elastic slingshot. Xion has the bombs, and that's a lot of damage onto NG, running him low. Gets the rockets in, the lasers are getting summoned. It's so hard to gank a Heimerdinger, man. You just take so much damage.
But they did kill all of his turrets, so at least there's some positive aspect to it.
And he doesn't really have very much mana left, so it's going to be difficult for him to reset the lane in the way that he wants it. It makes life a lot harder for him. See, he's only got one turret set up.
Look at this bot lane CS difference, though. Sendo and Kasing are just crushing Matty and Ronaldo, and we said, off the Lovers duo, will Ronaldo be as good? It's only early days so far, but answer's got to be no for now.
It's quite hard to be as flashy on a Fiddlesticks at level 3 as it is on a Rakan.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, Rakan at level 3 spikes super hard. You could do a lot with that. Shikari getting engaged on.
Yeah, it looks like he's not going to take too much damage here. Dodges away from one of those sweet spots. Let's take the other one, though. No, it's just going to throw out the old drone.
Wait, that did hit Kasing before he went inside. It silenced him, so I guess you can bounce it off him when he's inside. Obviously, you can't
well, you
bounce
have
back to him.
You have to target before he goes
inside,
into the mini form.
And now NG looking to see if he can make a play happen here. Sendo does have his flash and that teleport available, but they're coming in. That's going to be the flash sphere into the boomerang blade. That's the end of days for Sendo. First blood for X-Manny.
Gotta say, it was a great read from Kasing. He instantly separated from Sendo. He knew something was up. That could have very easily been a double kill, but only one.
Just beautiful as well from Ronaldo, from NG. Ronaldo, though, flashing forward to get the fear, to set it up for NG. We were questioning whether he could. Here we go again, though.
It's a jump away. Does have that cell division available to him still, so it's quite dangerous to commit for a kill onto NG. Just going to get himself a base off. Quite happy with the play he's set up in that bot lane, and a CS deficit is starting to shrink just a little bit. Magic Felix doing his best to clear out these towers, and that mana bar problem you were talking about in Tianan is starting to really kind of rear its ugly head right now.
Yeah, does still have TP, but we'll get a little look at that play bot lane. And the big thing was, Kasing instantly jumped out as soon as he smelled something was up. Ronaldo walked up too close, and he went, this is a gank. I don't want to give a double.
Certainly did not want to give that one away. Excellent play coming out from our Fnatic boys there. And obviously there was a teleport following this one, but nothing else came from the course of that fight. But so far, good start for the likes of Fnatic. 500 gold lead for them to start with. And NG on this Zac, already making this ganking champion work out. The closer he gets to 6, the more he can get away with this pick, and the less he's able to be punished by Taxa.
The X-Medis set up a soft lockdown on this bot lane here, just looking to farm up. He is down massively in CS compared to Sendo, who has a 40 to 25 CS lead here. 15 CS up, and the wave is actually pushing into Sendo, so there's more minions available to him. And this now allows Taxa to move in, but a great ward by Fnatic Rising will spot out him there as Ronaldo just uses his Hex Flash forward to throw a little bit of damage down. But now that Miasma's used, Ronaldo maybe biting off a little bit more than he can chew, but you can see NG now over that wall looking to come in. Q has connected by Taxi, jumps in, that's the knock-up, Taxa flashes over the wall, Kasing secures himself a kill. Now 3 versus 2, Fnatic have got the backup of a teleport coming in, and Taxa's taking some serious damage. Magic Felix flashes forward, has got himself a pop from the bomb, but Taxa's still alive. A massive stun lands onto Fnatic Rising. They're low on health bars, they're low on life, and low on members. XL get 2.
Look at the way that XL collapsed on this fight. They baited Fnatic in. Fnatic thought that they had their number, but the teleport was answered by Hyanan just wandering down from the mid lane.
Yeah, and it was a great stun. Use the empowered E, so it bounced, and all of Fnatic were perfect in the line. We're going to see that one again, so Ronaldo, you're flashless. You know that the Lee Sin's there. Why are you going in this situation? Easy punish coming out, but then Taxa plays this one beautifully. He lands the Q, waits for the stretch and strike, goes in, flashes to avoid the knock-up, and then they easily take out Ronaldo. Now, things start to look a bit hairy for XL because the TP starts coming in. Magic Felix trying to turn around the play, but Jarnan walks in, empowered stun just hits everyone. Even after spell shield from Maddie, it reconnects to stun him. And it's a great cleanup. Personally, I was wondering, Jarnan on the Heimer in the mid, will it be as impactful? But he's showing its mastery in that team fight.
He really is.
One of the biggest things as well, when you've got these role swaps, is will that player understand the role quite to the same level? Obviously, as an AD carry main, Jarnan is used to being able to kind of just chill in the bot lane, farm out for a lot of early game situations. Whereas mid lane, you've got to be a little bit more proactive. You've got to be willing to push out and rotate down to the Dragon or up to the Rift Herald. Jarnan proving that he is more than capable of playing these different roles.
And what's kind of separates Jarnan as an AD carry is the likes of X-Manny has only played bot lane. Jarnan, we've actually seen him play top lane. We've seen him play mid lane. This is this famous flex sale the team that will send any player to any lane, and they've all shown the ability to understand the demands of playing the likes of a mid laner, or being a top laner, or even being an AD carry. Ronaldo kind of being the most flexible player here for Fnatic Rising, as he's kind of shown his ability to play top, mid, and support so far, but
Yeah.
Shannon understands how to play mid lane. This isn't the first mid lane game we've seen from him at the UKLC.
Looks like we do potentially have a fight in our hands. Fnatic versus XL act surprised. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. This was pretty expected as a Tower Championship rematch. But it's still exciting though, right? I'm more than happy for this to be a rematch because the games between these two teams are always so exciting.
Contention for the Infernal Dragons coming in. They're looking for Maddie here. Shikari's already walked down. XL's still top lane, does have the TP. But it looks like they were trying to force them off that Infernal, and Shikari, he just has to walk back up top.
He might actually get caught out by Exile here as he makes his way up. Exile just looks to deny as many minions as possible. Shikari takes the safe route there, which was smart by him. There's now Magic Felix, lower mana. Only got that Sheen and a longsword to boot as well, so he's really not kind of hitting any major spikes as Corki wants to get that Triforce. That's when his first kind of big spike comes through, and then every item for Corki is a big step up for him in damage. So he wants to really aim for that kind of 2-3 item point before he really starts to pop off in the damage department.
Certainly will. And when we talk about the CS, once again, Sendu managing to maintain a
Drone
bit of a
storm.
lead, but there's a gank coming
That's going to
in.
be the drone storm onto Ronaldo to get himself a massive knock-up. X-Mani makes easy work as Sendo. A flash forward comes down, and X-Mani uses the on the hunt, gets himself a double onto Kasing. Exile's too late to the party as he is in the middle of Fnatic Rising, going onto Ronaldo, but the fear is enough to secure that one. NG picks him up, Taxa boots X-Mani away from him. Shannon minces through X-Mani, and it's an absolute whitewash of a fight across the board, but Fnatic still come up on top.
Yeah, Fnatic win out overall, but that combo from Tax and Hyanan was pretty clean.
Yeah,
What about
phenomenal.
the four?
And I love the synergy there between Ronaldo and NG. It's what we were talking about in the draft. When you can get the Crow Storm alongside the leap in, the elastic slingshot from Zac. So much damage, so much CC.
I think you find it's called the drone storm on this skin.
Is it really?
No, but he has drones instead of crows.
Oh, I have to say, not a Fiddlesticks aficionado like yourself, so unaware of the intricacies of each individual skin.
It's
I
all right.
like
You'll
it.
pick
I
it
like
up.
Surprise Party. Surprise Party is where it's at, man.
Surprise Party is actually a good. My favorite one for him is a fairly basic one, but it's Fiddle Me Timbers.
Fiddle Me Timbers is a good one, but we do have another Infernal Drake, or in fact, this is still the first Drake. The first one never went down. And it looks like XL going to be able to quite happily take control of this one.
Yeah, Fnatic kind of just caught out, you know, not in the right position. There are a lot of bases that come through after that last big team fight, and XL take their chance to set up for the set up for the Dragon and secure that objective. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Shikari with double buffs gonna be able to push out onto this turret and get himself some free plating.
That's a lot of money just for a plate, but XL getting that Infernal, definitely a big asset when you think about how much scaling they have on that Cassiopeia. You get the extra AP when the Yuumi is attached to you. You'll get a ton of AP from having an extra item without needing to buy boots. Fnatic trying to answer on this Herald, but they're going to be contested.
Yeah, but you can see X-Madi and Ronaldo are coming forward. Shikari goes in forward. This is going to be the Crow Storm. Chilled out. A lot of damage onto XL members here. NG is led bouncing through the party. A knock-up lands down, and XL will be next to go. Sendo gets picked up by the flag. Taxa jumps away. A lot of damage by Hyun and will force out the cell division onto NG, but Fnatic, they are not done. They are hungry for blood. That's going to be the end of Kasing. As he jumps away, Shikari dunks them inside underneath their tower. Taxa goes down. Ronaldo tries to get the damage out. Kasing gets himself a kill, but Troya fills him up in time. But Shikari gets himself another. Sendo, the only one to remain. Fnatic once again come up on top of the team fight.
Fnatic turning things around here. It felt like XL was starting to get the best of each of these fights, but Fnatic, they start off the Herald. As XL come and engage on them, they manage to find themselves an AC. It wasn't clean, but it's good enough.
Yeah, solid teamfight performance there. It felt like XL tried to contest that without the numbers advantage. They brought in Sendo and Kasing, but it was so late, and it was in the middle of the Crow Storm.
It's not over
Can
yet,
they
though.
do it yet? Can they secure it? That is actually going to be picked up by Fnatic, but not willing to give up the kill. This will just be the Eye of the Herald left sitting, and unless Magic Felix has himself a package available, I don't think they're going to be able to secure that objective.
Ronaldo has Hex Flash, and he's waiting in the area. I think he might be
He's doing it.
Oh, Zach's
Zach's
gone for
gone
it.
for it.
NG picks it up. Will get spotted out on the ward. He does have himself a flash if he wants. Might just hold
He
and
has
try and get
a
that
super
power
recall.
base.
He can get out easily. Ronaldo, though, maybe
Oh
is
no, he's dead. No, he's not.
Maybe he's not.
Aftershock OP, man.
Oh, and last chapter was so close, but Kasing doesn't want to chase. Ronaldo does get away, able to fear away Sendo.
I can't believe Fnatic just got away with all of that. It was so risky go for the Herald. They almost get contested. They get the smite in the end. Everybody gets out. And then they go for the dive back into the pit. Pull it out somehow. Playing on an absolute knife's edge here.
I see where NG decides to use that Rift Tail, try and accelerate the gold lead. He's slapping it down in the mid lane, in the bot lane, sorry. Big wave working there with xMatty. Sendo is going to have to do his best to clear this out before the charge comes off, and xMatty stepping up to the plate. NG is in his pocket. That's going to be solo gold to xMatty. He just got a serious amount of cash.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sivir is someone you do want to get all that cash injected into. And Ronaldo waiting in the brush. We saw how powerful his combo is at the Frog of War. We'll have a little look at that team fight once again. Shikari goes in and the Crow Storm comes out, and this is exactly what Sendo TPs into. So much CC coming out from NG, so many knockups from Shikari, and it just instantly puts them on the back foot. They try and find some solace on the end, but they only manage to force a cell division, and then Magifelix, confident enough to go in, takes out Sharnan, and it's a nice little outplay here from Kasing and Taxa. They manage to kill Sharnan, and then Kasing even manages to turn around at the end of Ronaldo, but still, overall, a massive win for Fnatic Rising.
That triumph almost saved Kasing's life as well.
Yeah, I was sure Shikari was going to go down at the end there to the tower. That would have really changed the face of this game. But 7-10 right now at 15 minutes in the game, and it's only a 2,000 gold lead in favor of Fnatic. But to answer that lead, XL have themselves Infernal Drake. This really could go either way at this stage, but look at the gold in the bottom lane right now. 2,000 gold lead in the pocket of Matty.
Yeah, it's a massive amount, especially when you consider how one-sided the laning phase looked from Sendo. Those tower platings definitely putting things in the favor of xMatty, and all those kills he's been able to pick up. Fnatic, we said they drafted a scaling composition, but they're doing pretty well already.
You see Magifelix now able to clear out the Heimerdinger turrets with pretty little to no problem at this point. Got himself the big parts of his Infinity Edge as well, so with the Triforce and Infinity Edge soon to follow. This is that kind of 2-item power spike I was really talking about in the Corki, when you get the crit chance, you get a lot of flat damage, which is obviously being converted mostly into magic damage as well. NG actually looks to try and find something onto Taxa, but the rockets will do some serious damage by Hjarnan. Got that Luden's Echo. We'll be able to pop through people.
And I like this from NG as well. Not really committing to the fight, just committing enough to protect their vision control. That control ward survives the situation. He didn't commit anything in terms of summoners or anything like that.
Oh, Taxa slides in, takes a lot of damage from Magifelix underneath the tower.
Ambitious.
Nice.
Optimistic.
Yeah. Now Fnatic moving straight onto that Ocean Dragon. Not as impactful as the Infernal, but would even the tie in total Drake's sword. Sharnan just look for a steal. Actually, that was a lot of damage, but not enough to take down NG. And
Look
at
like
that
they'll
next
be
Drake.
able to regen that with the Ocean Drake.
There we go. Next Dragon is another Infernal, so a big one for both teams to contest. But I mean, I feel like they'll contest a minion wave at this point. The amount these teams have been fighting over every little thing. Over a kill a minute at this point. Both of them being very skirmish heavy so far.
And I feel like this matchup is the epitome of give them an inch, they'll take a mile. But it goes both ways, right? And that's why each and every single one of these skirmishes, everybody has to step up, everybody has to rotate in. And what looks like it might just be a 1v1 quickly erupts into a 4v4 or 5v5.
Infernal Drake could be the next one up as well.
I did just say that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've perfected the art of just
Not
tuning
listening,
you
yeah.
out.
That's why we've started doing
I feel
TriCast,
like-
because you listen to Munchables
Yeah,
and not me.
During this
Munch is the
TriCast, I'm just
translator.
like in the mid. I'm like that friend that's awkwardly come over and then the married couple starts arguing and
Yeah.
they just kind of sit there, look down and take a sip of my wine.
We'll just kiss and make up after the show. It's not PG-13, so we can't
Was
do
that
it
kiss
here.
in makeup or kiss and makeup?
Kiss and makeup.
Why not both, right?
What, wearing makeup?
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm down.
Welcome to 2019.
You see Ronaldo playing around the pockets of Vision and NG as well. And as you said before the game, Jake, so much engage range and the possibility to do it from the Fog of War means everyone from XL has to farm pretty safely and close to their tower, because a lot of potential for engage from Fnatic. But big thing to note is all these TPs are now available. Hjarnen's coming up soon, so I expect next fight, next engage, it's going to turn into a massive team fight once again.
The Assault Boot's now been finished up onto Magic Felix. You can see with that Triforce, he makes pretty easy work of these turrets. And those Sheen procs go off, and that'll be second turret for Fnatic rising in the top lane. Now they just need to find a way to crack the mid. As Exile tries to jump onto Shikari, but it's going to be hard to pin down a Jarvan who has flag and drag.
There are 4 players on the top side for XL, though.
Shikari's low, though. A lot of lifesteal by Exile. He's just tower diving underneath. Shikari almost finds the outplay there. Very close to going down for Exile.
Yeah, remember, a long time ago, Aatrox has changed, so he doesn't have 2 charges on his dash. As soon as he dashed in, and Shikari knew this was an opportunity to lock him in a tower, ult was had to use to keep Exile in a healthy position. The healing was insane, but in the end, he does have to lose his flash in return. And Matty forced to use his ult.
It's going to be the final chap to use, but NG comes sliding in, has that let's bounce, and the stretching strikes to work. The miasma's down, the Crow Storm is off. Ronaldo jumps in, Matty first himself a kill onto Taxa. Now Fnatic maybe look for more, but it looks like for now, they're just going to disengage and step away.
I felt like that was going to be so much more. Taxa, the only one to drop in the end. We could have a re-engage, though.
Big knock up, the chains have landed, but a great silence now. NG just comes out from nowhere.
Damage coming on through from either side, and once again, the disengage. It feels like Fnatic getting minor advantages in this fight, though. They only kill 1 player, but even in terms of health bars, forcing people back to base, it feels like Fnatic just about have an edge.
Yeah, well, the gold lead definitely in their favor. 3,000 as of this point, and we talked so much about the scaling. You can look how it pans out individually. 3,000 total gold lead, 2,500 is between this Sivir and this Cassiopeia. That's a massive difference. And Sivir scales so well, we've talked about that before, and Shikari, he's looking for something.
He's in a blind spot, gets himself the flag and drag. NG jumps in, Exile pops himself the World Ender, looks to turn it around, but Taxa's coming in. Fnatic maybe getting caught out here as Taxa now sliding towards the kick. Does not quite land. That's going to be a flag and drag to safety. Fnatic don't really burn too much, but NG does lose his flash.
Yeah, just force away the flash from the Zac, which does limit his engage potential. Crowstorm coming in.
He's got it. That's going to be the flash over the wall to slow him down. NG slides in, gets himself the knock-up. Teleports are coming out. The dunk by Shikari is enough to secure that one. And Sendo just a little bit too slow to the party.
So ingenious from Ronaldo to go this Hex Splash. I thought it was a Crowstorm, wasn't even up. The Hex Splash serves the same purpose. He closes the gap, goes for the flash, and able to shut down Exile, who is a lot more vulnerable without that ult.
And worth mentioning, while you're channeling that Hex Flash, you still get the movement speed buff from Fiddlestick's passive. That is so close to spotting this play out. Because he's standing still during this time, he still gets that movement speed buff. He can still get the engage. And this is just a beautiful CC chain. The ult from Jarvan may be a little unnecessary.
Yeah, maybe a bit, but they wanted to finish it out before that TP completed, because it was just Sendo.
He's
5-0 instead. Yeah, Shikari's doing massive work this game.
Well, they're looking to catch out Flubber. NG taking a little bit of damage from those turrets. I say a little bit, he just lost half his health. He's going to be able to clear over the wall nice and safely.
And they're posturing around this Infernal.
On the hunt's been used. That's the package drop. The final chapter trying to pin Fnatic members down. That's already going to be 1 from Magic Felix. The Rockets are doing a lot of damage, but Taxa's going to get picked up. 4 kills for Fnatic rising, and an Infernal Drake to boot.
And it's a clean sweep. They crush XL in that fight. Great package from Magic Felix. Catches Sendo off guard, and now they're heading to Baron.
And all of these fights throughout this game, Fnatic have been picking up small advantages. You can see the bounties on the 2 carries right here. Magic Felix annihilating health bars. Matty as well stepping up and getting a double kill in that fight. Finally, Fnatic's composition coming online, and it feels like XL can't really team fight him anymore.
Oh, Magic Felix actually wants to try and find Exile here. The Infernal Chains connect, works out, pops himself the World Ender, tries to turn it onto Magic Felix. A lot of damage from the Deathbringer stance, poking Magic Felix down, but neither one wants to commit for the kill. Too many members about. They back off.
And Fnatic pick up that Baron. They are so far ahead in this game. And XL, the ones who have attributed this early game, haven't been able to bring it out. Shannon is on his Heimer. The 100% win rate in the UK likely to be ended here, and top teams at Worlds weren't able to handle it. But Fnatic, they may have found a way of dealing with it.
Yeah, 7,000 gold lead now in favor of Fnatic. They've got a Baron buff as well. And now we'll see if they can turn this into more. Ronaldo does have Crowstorm available.
Good fear, good silence. NG gets himself a stretching strikes off onto the ward. Magic Felix on that flank, but Taxa's taking so much damage. Neither team, once again, willing to commit for the full fight. XL know how badly they've been losing these recent ones. They're just going to get away with the Zoomies heals.
Yeah, want to take a fight, though, burn some of the members of Fnatic down so they don't have a full-strength team with the Baron. But unfortunately, they're able to find it. They might look for something here. John, and keeping high on HP because of Kasing's healing.
And
right
now, this positioning from Fnatic is really important for them to keep the pace of this game high. They have the lead for now. They are in a really strong position, but it's important that they do capitalize. They don't allow the game to slow down. With this 2.5 minutes remaining on Baron buff, they have to force objectives and turn this lead into more of a victory.
Well, that's going to be that third turret falling down on the outers. None more of those to deal with. And Fnatic now, they can look to move the vision into XL's jungle. Look to try and close out as much as possible. As XL has actually found out NG. The Infernal Chains will pull him back. Misses out on one of those sweet spots, but great fear by Ronaldo will terrify him away.
And that's how this comp rounds out. Because of Ronaldo on this Fiddlesticks, anyone who tries to engage, when Taxa jumps in or XL finds a flank, they are instantly feared and shut down. And Fnatic going for a fade with the Death Rush, but they're looking for an engage here.
Oh, Drone Storm's there. He's going to get the fear off into Taxa. He is melted through. Ronaldo secures that one. XL jumps away, but a dunk by Shikari is going to be enough, and Fnatic find 2 quick kills. They do lose one in the return, though, but they can be pretty happy with the play so far.
The cannon minion finishes off Ronaldo, but that's not enough to stop Fnatic. Now onto the inhibitor towers. They've still got Baron. And XL just desperately trying to protect themselves.
They're hard to dive a higher in this situation. They will back off, but they're definitely happy with what they've managed to achieve so far. Massive gold leads and a scaling composition. Fnatic are looking good. And remember what this game means for them.
I was just saying, well, yeah, exactly. This means everything for Fnatic. If they lost this, if they lose this to XL, they are going to be not making it to the finals free of charge. They have to work through that gauntlet. They have to run
pay
up.
for a ticket like everyone else.
Not quite, but
Not quite that situation, but they will have to fight through the gauntlet. They won't be able to guarantee themselves that first place spot. XL, they can still do that right now if they can take this game, but Fnatic on the doorstep at this stage. They haven't finished any inhibitors yet, though.
I do believe Fnatic have to take the tower and hold it versus XL. If XL make it to the top of the tower next week for the final tower, because if XL do take it back again, then that means that Fnatic Rising don't make it. So while they want this win, it doesn't put them in the clear. XL, if they get this win, it puts them in the clear.
The key thing is both teams absolutely need this win. At the end of the day, whoever wins this game is looking like a favorite to move forward as that first seed, guarantee themselves a spot at the live finals in Twickenham.
And also, it guarantees a spot at EU Masters. You are at least at play-ins if you get this win and you're able to hold on to the tower for Fnatic or XL. If you win this, play-ins is where you're going, and that's a huge thing considering the miss. The last time
the play, the on-hunt's there. Great petrifying gaze. Catches them underneath the tower. Xmatty takes 2 tower shots for free. That's going to be Cell Division force. The XL's trying to get the Infernal Chains broken down here. Ronaldo does get pulled in, but double teleports as Fnatic are turning up. In comes Shikari.
The
Wants to go
turnaround.
for the turn. Gets it. Xmatty gets 1. Now Hyanan is on that flank. Doesn't have R. The final chapter's enough. And Hyanan just deletes Ronaldo. XL are down, but they're not falling without a fight here. That's going to be the tier 2 in the mid lane going down. And Fnatic working this wave up. They want to go for tier 3. They want to go for inhibitors. A lot of damage has connected by Hyanan. The bomb's not going to stun them up, and Fnatic are just going to have to step away.
Yeah, Magi Felix really low, but the big thing is Sivir and Corki still alive, still able to ward off any chance to engage.
They're not done.
Still has flash.
Oh no, the turnaround! Xmatty just deletes Hyanan! Kasing is also going to fall as well as Taxa is able to make it back to the base, make it back to safety.
If they could have finished the kill onto Taxa right there, they could have been looking at ending the game. 30-second death timers at this stage, even longer than that. So they are only going to be able to grab the inhib for now, but just a tiny bit more, and that could have been the end of everything. Xmatty, though, absolute highlight player in that moment.
Yeah, pops in, gets the auto reset on the Sivir. Massive amount of damage coming out from those crits with the Essence Reaver and Infinity Edge giving so much damage, and he just blows Shannon up. Kasing is left alone in return, and Fnatic Massive team fight win. They're looking to secure a dragon off the back of him. Look over at the other side of the map. Baron is spawning soon.
And the nice thing about that is Double Ocean does help you with these Baron dances. You can peel away, get a bit of recovery up, and then step back into that Baron.
I mean, you say that, but with these compositions, I don't think there's much peeling away. When that Zac goes in, when that Crow Storm hits, there's very little running away from those fights. These fights have been explosive all game long, and I expect that to be how it continues. But look at the gold. 11,000 in favor of Fnatic right now. XL have got to pull something magic out of the hat.
XL have to pull a Fnatic. They need to do what Fnatic have done so many times and let them throw a massive gold lead.
If XL can int a 12k gold lead, so can Fnatic. I'm just saying it right here.
We'll have to see.
It's going to be hard, though. They are playing very, very well. Very clean here for Fnatic. They're moving up that vision line.
Yeah, package for Magic Felix means you can be so aggressive right now. It's a perfect time to set up for this Baron. And XL, he's pinging this bot lane tower. He's looking to cement that. But when you lack vision, it's almost impossible to walk up through the jungle towards the Baron because Fnatic, they have that Crow Storm. They have the engage from NG. The package is down, but the damage is still there from that Fnatic comp.
And now Fnatic sieging up in this top lane. There's nothing XL can do about it, but we have to talk about, you know, early in the game, it felt like Sendu was going to be a massive part of this team, but so far in these team fights, he's just really not been able to have an impact on the game. It feels like he's just invisible in this situation.
Yeah, Baron's going to be started up. TP coming in instantly. They know this is going to happen.
This is going to be the big decider. Look at Ronaldo on the map, though. He's channeling up that Crow Storm over the wall. He wants to find his opening. 3k HP. XL dashes in, throws out the Infernal Chains. Does find a connection. Pull them back, but then goes Ronaldo. Tax is going to melt. 2 kills for Fnatic already. That's a massive final chapter. There's a big turnaround by Sendo, but he is taken down. Shikari secures that one. Shannon's the only one left, and NG going to go golden. Xmatty takes out the towers to make sure that NG will be able to live. Shannon has a lot of health to work with. Mines the stun, but a great spell shield by Xmatty means he will not go down, and now Fnatic are just barreling down the mid lane.
Look at the regen on Shikari, the double ocean with a red buff in there as well. He is almost full HP again. The supers are here to push with. Fnatic might have done it.
They've got the Terrify off. That's the end of Shannon. The ace is there for Fnatic. They're onto the turret. They do not want to be going out without a fight. They take back the tower from XL, and they keep their dreams alive of qualifying for the finals at Twickenham.
Sorry. What a way to do it as well. Fnatic managed to take this one off of XL. They keep the dreams alive, and the fight for first seed continues.
Yeah, and what a performance to beat Shannon's Heimer, something top teams can do last Worlds. And Fnatic Rise managed to do it here and now in a game that meant so much. EU Masters guaranteed. And the not yet, but it would be for XL if they'd won that game. They would have guaranteed EU Masters. They would have guaranteed a spot at the live finals in Twickenham. Fnatic kept their hopes alive. They still need to perform next week, but this game meant so much, and what a way to win it.
And it doesn't mean that XL are out. They still can take the tower back next week from Fnatic Rising. And if they do that, they qualify for European Masters. They qualify for the finals at Twickenham, at home for them. That's where they're from. But Fnatic, they have to now sit back for a week, take a break, and rest, and just make sure that they can hold this tower. But typically what we've seen is teams aren't actually capable of holding the tower, because the team that runs up through the gauntlet of that week get more games, get more practice, and they come in warmed up. So XL maybe playing towards that for next week. That is going to be what they have to look at coming into this game.
Absolutely, and everything going according to the script so far. We had our two teams fighting for first seed. XL could have ended the fight here today, but Fnatic just about tipped the balance, and it means that next week gets to be just as exciting. Everything's still on the line for our two top teams.
It's the big curveball, though. Barrage are going to win the tower next week. They're just going to come in, slide into third, deny XL any chance to take in first.
I mean, we have to see, but
we'll see.
It must be
so faithful there, man.
It must be so disheartening to XL, who felt like they could secure so much in this one game. They felt like they finally figured out Fnatic. Last week's game against them, it felt like they'd overcome that inability to end. They looked like a really strong, cohesive team. And then things change up. Ronaldo brought in. Bando going to be there next week as well, so even more changes. And it felt like a different Fnatic. They went for the late game scaling, but they crushed the early. They crushed the mid game, and they crushed the late game too.
And once again, Ronaldo, right? We were questioning, you know, Or is it just Rakan? Once Rakan's gone, is he still going to be able to be impactful? His Fiddlesticks was fantastic. Multiple times his Crow Storms were literally turning team fights, flashing in to get these fears, getting the Dark Winds onto the entire team. Just outstanding play from him all day long today.
I mean, how deep is this dude's champ pool? He's played so many different champions, and you ban away the Rakan. Yes, it looks like his strongest pick and his most comfortable pick for him. But like you said, the Fiddlesticks is something he was quite comfortable to pull out. I feel like this guy definitely has the likes of like a Pike in his wheelhouse as well. You know, a champion who can set his team up and go for these big plays. I feel like he is a playmaking support, and it suits the Fnatic style because they at the moment are playing a very fast-paced and impactful game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think the fact that we questioned them leaving open the Heimer. We thought, oh, could this be a massive mistake? And they still just managed to make it look like not the world's best Heimer. Hjarnan still had some nice plays with the stuns coming out, but it just wasn't enough. And the fact that they moved to mid may have been a detriment, but they had an answer to it in the bot lane.
Well, we have our MVP coming out of that game, and it is the man in the top lane, Shikari for Fnatic Rising. 6-0-13. Perfect KDA, and this is his last game really with the team for a little while, so it's a nice one to end on for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see Shikari still just on top of everything, and he's choosing to take a break from Professional League of Legends, and he wants to return. That's the key thing here is this is not a defeat for Shikari. He's choosing to step out so he can come back stronger later down the line.
He's shown there his level is still insanely high, but he has taken the reason, as you said, to step out. It does give hope to other rosters though, because he is the back-to-back-to-back-to-back champion. Someone else might be able to win it this time now.
And the only thing I'm a little sad about is we don't actually get to see Sendo versus Shikari in this last kind of crucial matchup, because I really do still believe that Sendo is putting his name forward to be in the best top laner. I still think he is the best top laner.
I mean, he has to play in the top lane to receive that title. I feel like he's been in bot lane more than top these days.
He definitely looked a bit rough on the Cassiopeia in this game. I don't think it was just the fact that he got punished because of the Rift Towel coming bot, giving a ton of gold to Matty, but there was points where I saw Magi Felix dive onto him, misconnected with the Petrifying Gaze, and it overall just looked like XL just weren't on the same level they were last week. Like maybe they hadn't had their Weetabix for breakfast or something, but they really just didn't seem the same team that I had predicted to win, and now Jake's won. The Tower Challenge prediction.
I am actually smurfing it right now. I am so smurfing it right now, dude.
It's not going well. It's not going well. I've
I don't know why
let
you're
the guests down.
Yeah.
I've let the guests down.
Every time a guest loses, they're basically taking a big poo on Chronicler's Legacy. Because he came in, he was the king of the predictions. He left, I took over.
I
And
got 2 points.
well done,
Could
mate.
be worse.
2 out of 5.
Could be worse.
That's a fail.
It's better than 1 out of 5.
How many did you get?
2.
That's actually better than you've done in
I could.
the last 2
I've had
weeks.
3 points in the last 3 weeks. I've had a point a week on average. I am really just so bad at this.
I don't like.
I mean,
Should we?
I could literally, I could flip a coin and do better.
I was gonna say, do you want me to bring a coin or some dice in, and we'll concoct a way for you to figure it out. We will hopefully try and pull out the marble race for predictions, and the marble race was 100% correct last playoffs. So you've been beaten by marbles.
Marbles.
And the worst thing is they're plastic. They're not even real marbles. They're not like the glass marbles. They're like fake marbles.
do you know what? If you want, mate, I'll splash out and I'll bring some real marbles in for you, just for you.
That'd be
Man
nice.
after my own heart. I love those little marbles with all the art inside. They're cool. I'm not a marble collector. I sound like a real weirdo now.
I mean,
I got very excited by marbles. There for there was a brief moment.
My granddad had a massive jar of marbles. They were cool, so they're good stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Like
we
marbles.
actually
Thumbs up from me.
thumbs up from me as well. But speaking of thumbs up, we've actually got ourselves an interview lined up with I believe Shando from Fnatic. There we go. Yeah, I correctly heard. How's it going, mate? How you doing?
Hello guys, how's it going?
Yeah, good.
Really
How do you feel after that win, man?
As you guys have seen with different roster, it has been a couple of really crazy weeks. So finally get the week and seeing that Ronaldo is performing as we expected and that the team is stepping forward, it's really satisfying.
Yeah, I want to ask about the new roster, actually, because obviously you guys have had a bit of a shuffle coming on, and obviously Shikari stepped back in for the games here, but Ronaldo today felt like a star player for you guys. How's he been meshing with the team during practices? How's that all been going? And is he becoming like a shot caller and everything, or is it just mechanics he's bringing to the table?
I don't think it's just mechanics, but it all started sort of like I don't know if you guys remember, but Felix played 1 week on the leg this split, so obviously we had to make an adjustment, and that's how Ronaldo got more playtime and how we actually got to interact a bit more with him in the roster. And what we realized is that this guy had a really high ability to adapt to any situation. We played him top lane, we played him support, we played him mid lane. He never complained. He always took the opportunity to actually learn and actually improve. And on top of that, he actually had a really amount of raw talent, both mechanically and actually understanding of micro of the game. And I feel like this kind of instinct is much harder to coach than anything else like macro knowledge or communication. So when you see people who actually work well together and have this kind of talent, I feel like the position in which they play is not so relevant.
Fair enough. My question would be, you just played against the best Heimer in the world and won. So leaving the Heimer open, was that something you felt confident to face and you had a strategy for?
To be fair, I just grow sick of it. You know, we have been week after week banning the Heimer, doing the same thing, and we felt like we definitely were doing something wrong. So we decided to revisit how we were drafting versus Excel, and we said, okay, if they want to play it, let them play it, but we, instead of actually just ban it, we are gonna prepare in advance to the fact that they will pick it. So we prepared this counter with the Sivir and the Fiddlestick, and I feel like it paid off.
All right, so I want to ask you about the tournament here. We've yet to have back-to-back tower champions. Can you guys do it? Are you going to be able to round out the tournament with a double win here? What have you got up your sleeves to pull out to make this final win happen?
I feel like we definitely can go and not lose a single more game, because we still play with a substitute top lane that we have not been practicing with this week. Obviously, Shikari has been extremely helpful, and obviously, even if he has not performed, he has not been practicing with that. He does know how to play with the team, has scrimmed for months and months with us. So now with including Bando and with the roster actually on full potential, and with the roster that we actually are practicing, I'm confident that we are going to be even better. So I don't really know what is going to happen on the regular season, but I have no doubt that we are going to be UKLC champions again.
A lot of confidence.
Yeah.
My one would be regarding Bando joining the team. Obviously, he has a bit of history of being on teams with NG. What do you think he can offer to the roster that's maybe different from Shikari?
I would say that Bando has much more of a carry profile. I would say that Jordan Shikari is great at being a smart player who understands his limitations, and that has made him shine in multiple occasions. Obviously, Jordan has the ability to carry games. This last game is an example of how he can actually still outperform every other top laner on the league. But I feel like the situation with Bando is similar to what I was talking about with Ronaldo. I think like he's really a lot of power without control. This is what I tell him in the sense that I feel like he really needs to work a lot with me, and I feel like his amount of knowledge about the game might be even slightly more limited than the one that Shikari had. But I think his amount of raw talent and mechanical ability is superior.
So before I let you go, kind of celebrate and get some rest before next week, I want to ask you, because obviously you just said that you are pretty confident that you're going to take the UKLC once again as the champion. My question to you is, looking towards the European Masters as your kind of next big goal, you made top 4 last time. Do you think with this new roster, with the changes you've made, do you actually think you can maybe beat your current record of top 4? Do you think you have the capabilities to make it to finals and maybe even take the European Masters to the UK?
We definitely made these changes, not so much because we were concerned about not being possible that we will win still UKLC, but trying to aim to actually be able to take on the European Master. I think it's really cocky if I said that we will win it, because I feel like there are obviously really good teams and everyone prepares for this tournament for the entire split, but I'm confident that we have a really fair shot at it. It was hard for us losing in the semifinals the previous split, but I felt like it showcased some of the problems that our roster could have when we were facing really individually talented players, like in this case it was the ones in SK. So I'm confident that with this roster, if we manage to keep up with the rhythm of practice that I intend to have towards European Master, we can again be real contenders.
That's great to hear. Thank you very much for joining us here for the interview, and good luck for next week. We'll see you then.
See you. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Good.
I like that. He's confident, but he's not overly confident. He doesn't want to come across cocky, but he does feel confident in their current standings within the UK, and then looking realistically towards the European Masters. So it's nice to see that Fnatic, they got their heads screwed on for this, and they know what their goals clearly are.
And off a win like that, you should be feeling confident, right? They just managed to take out XL. It's a team that they've battled consistently across the course of this split, but managing to prove that as of right now, as of today, they currently have the edge in that matchup. And we'll see if they can maintain that moving forwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will have a quick look at the bracket just so you can see how everything played out today.
Well, we've seen it multiple times, but the only difference is Fnatic now sit at the top of that tower as the tower challenges. Challenges?
Tower champions?
That's the word I'm looking for, my dude.
They were the challenger, and
Do
they
we have-
became the champion. Fnatic not losing a single game this weekend, or this week, sorry. It's not actually the weekend.
I want to know if we have the points for the predictions for this week.
You already know the points.
I just want to see them again. I want to rub it in Orcs' face, but he's bad and I'm good. Yeah, thank you. There we are. I'm almost on 20. Almost on 20, my dudes.
Yeah, 19 points. I'm on 16. Twitter's on 16. And then we've got 13 points for little old Orcs here.
Yeah.
It's not over yet, though, mate.
No.
If we do playoff predictions and things, there's still a chance.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
still
gonna-
possible.
I'm waiting for Carousel.
Waiting for
Shall I
Carousel. You are tanking real hard, dude. You're like 5 HP at Carousel at this point. Look where we are.
I've become the Carol Vorderman of the show at this stage.
All right, I'm going to give you some numbers, and I want you to make 400.
Okay.
8.
4-0-0. Nailed it.
He's so good at it. I mean,
That's all I got.
you're good looking enough to do it, I think.
Divided by 2 times 100. There you go. You gave me one number. I did it. Should we do some things? Eggs. What are these
Have you seen
called?
this before? Do you know how this works?
I mean, explain it to me.
All right,
Talk,
I'll explain
talk
it.
to me. Talk to me.
Talk to me.
Terry
Right,
tips.
so what we got going on here is we got our round of 8 for the last tower. Now, you're going to go in there. You're going to pull a ball out.
Do I have to get all the way in there, or can I just use my hand?
No, you actually, it's like an apple bob. So you need to
Got
use
it.
your teeth.
Got it. Right.
Um,
I'm with you.
And then at this point, this will be blue side for game 1. Then our boy Daniel here will pull our ball out with his teeth again. And then that will be blue side for game 2. Then we'll do game 3, blue side, then game 4. This is where we go to red side. This is when it gets interesting. You now need to use your feet to pull the ball out. And it's going to be red side for game 1, red side for game 2, red side for game 3, red side for game 4.
Copy
We do have a
that.
couple of matchups that can't happen. So Diabolus versus Barrage, Demise versus Envision, Eminem versus Phelan, Enclave versus Fnatic, Phelan versus Demise, Diabolus versus Enclave, and XL versus Barrage. There's a lot to remember there. I got it wrong last week.
I'll let you be
You're
in
going to get
charge
it wrong
of that.
this week as well. So,
Whoa.
sorry about that.
If we're getting stuff wrong? Wow, that's completely new.
never.
Munch,
Right.
as our wonderful guest returning here.
I'm not going to use my teeth if that's all the same with you. I want these to be usable
I don't think your
again
mouth
in the
can
future.
open that
You
way.
underestimate me, my friend. I'm too weak, I think, for this segment of the
Scott,
show.
squeeze it.
I did it. The power is there. And we've got XL already. First one of the day is going to be our previous Tower Champions. And they're not going to be able to survive. I'm going to pass that over to you.
Every team is
all I have.
hoping.
I was wrong. You're Carol Vorderman.
I am Carol Vorderman.
I'm.
I don't know if I've
who's
got
the
the
host
looks.
now? They changed it. I don't know.
Philip Schofield.
Enough talk about Countdown.
It's not Philip Schofield.
It's someone.
You are right.
Oh! It is. Enclave.
I love when we just got a close-up on Munch.
That was exciting.
And these cards are starting to get a little bit
All right.
wobbly and a bit bent there. Let's you can honestly eat the balls.
Do you want to go, mate? I don't want to take all the fun.
I did it once and I got it wrong. I don't know how. Not as bad as Saga. He just put his hand in and one would open for him.
You're welcome,
Wow.
by the way, Enclave. You're welcome. They're all very happy they're going to face XL.
All right, let's take a look. The answer is going to be M&M Gaming.
All right, so this will be game 3 blue side next week in the round 8. Eminem can't play Phelan. I think that's the only one they can't play so far. Yep. So
Sweet.
can't play Phelan.
So far, so good.
So far, we haven't got anything wrong. This is what we're.
That was a good
Worries
pop.
It's going to be
Satisfying.
Demise.
They did it.
It's one of them.
There's
How many
no blue tech on
blue
that
tech on that one?
I actually just threw some blue tack across.
It's there.
We'll find some blue
There it
tech.
is. Ah.
While the blue tech situation is dealt with, I'll start.
Make sure you roll it a lot because they're up against XL.
So XL, this can't be Barrage. It's the only team it can't be for XL. Yeah,
All right, let's see.
can't be Barrage right now.
I'm going to close my eyes and everything.
So if it's this Barrage, they play Enclave unless they can't play Enclave, but they
Oh.
definitely can.
We're going to be looking at a good matchup, ladies and gentlemen. The draw is going to be Diabolus.
Oh, that's actually going to be a really hype one.
This is going to be
Diabolus
exciting.
been a little bit of a downward trend. Losing to
Losing
Barrage.
to Barrage, yeah.
But
I see PFI in the chat saying, no!
Unlucky.
All right,
Unlucky
Orcs.
for Diabolus.
Enclave. Who can't Enclave play? They can't play Diabolus, so that's fine. And they can't play Fnatic, so that's fine.
All right, so who's it going to be? Time to find out.
It's going to be Barrage.
Okay, this is actually pretty nice for Barrage.
Wait, no. It can't be.
Wait, can't they?
Because... Oh, no, wait, it can, but...
Yeah, it can be. I just said they can't
No,
play...
it can't be, because Phelan can't play against Eminem or Demise. It has to be Phelan.
Ooh.
So,
Ooh.
Barrage get moved on here. Unlucky.
Can they play versus Eminem?
I mean, and then Phelan has to go there, and then whichever team's
Wait.
left goes there.
Yeah, which is
There's only one
Envision.
catch.
So
for
Envision
Phelan,
has
right?
to go against Demise.
Wait,
Wait,
hold on.
Just
hold on.
They
a
can't
second
play.
here.
Barrage?
Phelan can't play against Demise, but that's it, right?
Barrage can't play versus Diabolus.
Sugar. No, because Envision can't play Demise, so they can't go here.
No, but...
We need
can't go
Nick!
there or there.
We need an adult!
Oh.
What? It went so wrong. The last draw show just went so wrong. I
I'm
need
going
an
to find
adult.
out who's in the last ball. It might be possible.
It might be possible. I am so confused. You've really thrown a spanner in the works, Hawks.
Well, I'm just saying what they said. Phelan can't play Eminem or Demise.
Envision
No, but
has to play
Phelan can't
Enclave.
play Demise. It says on the list, Phelan cannot play Demise. So how can Phelan go here? If I put Envision there, then Phelan can't play there, so it doesn't work.
I'm so confused. Oh, so it's Barrage
Barrage.
versus Demise. Okay, that's good for Barrage. That's really good for Barrage. They just skipped Eminem. Envision,
Guess who's in the
not
last
so good
one?
for you.
I want
And
it. I want it.
Phelan
I'm
goes
so
versus...
done.
That was that was quite the affair. That was my dudes.
There it is.
There you go. Have a little look.
We'll double check with the admins, make sure that's all Gucci, but looks pretty good to me.
That was
Orcs is
a bit
angry.
more stressful than it had to be.
What a mess.
Here we go.
I see PFI in the
Our
chat saying,
bracket
why can't we
is
just change
locked
our
in.
Diabolus to make it work? Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's pretty set in stone. So we're just going to get that confirmed, and
Yeah.
then we'll make sure that this is definitely the way this can work.
I mean, it looks good to me, but then I'm just looking at the pictures.
If I'm Barrage, I'm pretty happy with this. If I'm feeling an Enclave, I'm pretty happy with this. If I'm Diabolus or Envision, I'm a little bit nervous coming into this week. But I think these two games are going to be really, really hype games.
So for anyone who's wondering what happened, we basically have a list of stipulations. Certain matchups can't happen because teams can't play each other back to back. They also can't play each other 3 times. It's really confusing, especially when we're trying to do a draw and teams have to get like shuffled over 7 places or whatever. So basically, we have to make it fit, and it kind of, yeah.
It works perfectly. is
Just
what you're
waiting for
trying
that
to say.
confirmation.
So
Have you
I'm just
found
gonna
your
straighten
return
this
here?
one out.
Apart from the draw show going horribly wrong.
It's not gone that wrong, guys. Come on, chill out. Chill out a second here.
I mean-
We've got a bracket. Everything's fine. We're just getting it confirmed with the admins, but
True.
it looks like everything's A-okay. It's been fun. It's been great to be back in the UK, obviously. Like, home sweet home, right? It's been good to cast some League of Legends as well. It's been good to see some of the old school players still
Yeah.
playing in the league. And most of the old school players actually still being top tier players currently in the league as well.
My highlight of this week was going out for a KFC dinner date with you last night.
Did have KFC. I just nearly fell over.
And
Just
we
trying to put my-
had a wonderful little drive home. Had a little bit of a spoon before bed.
It was cheeky.
It was
cheeky to say the least.
Speaking of
We had
cheeky,
Nando's
if you
as well.
want to actually catch up on any of the old videos from this week, any games that you missed, you can head over to our YouTube channel, LVP UKLC, right down there. Where you can watch all of our previous videos and videos and all those goodies. Catch up on things like Hit Brain Stop Takes and our passionate videos as well, which hopefully we'll be doing one for next week. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm just saying stuff without knowing it at this point.
That's how you cast.
That is how I cast. So also, if you want to get involved in the conversation, head over to our Twitter, LVP UKLOL, to get involved on there. Make sure you use that hashtag, UKLC. Come on. No? There we go.
Is that good enough?
Hashtag.
Did I do it?
You have to
we
just down
have
them.
to do it synchronized.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah,
3,
ready?
2, 1. Hashtag. I hate you. UKLC. I hate you so much.
Nailed it.
Oh, my Lord.
But yeah, so Twitter's a thing,
Twitter's a
YouTube's a
thing.
thing. Make sure
Yeah.
you follow him, make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're keeping up with all of the content. We'll be letting you know when the next games are coming. But next weekend is the last tower of the tournament.
Which means we don't need to do the draw anymore, which also means this whiteboard is gone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for
He
joining
just
us
lost his
here
job.
for
That's
week
all I'm saying.
6 of the UKLC. We'll see you next week without Orcs because he's now been fired. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for Munch for joining us. It's been wonderful
Thank you for
having
having
you
me.
here.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time, same place. See you later.